What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
When we moved to Amsterdam in 2018, Amsterdam Centraal was under construction. In fact, it seemed like Amsterdam Centraal was always under construction. Now, I generally try not to go to the center of Amsterdam very often because it's basically Disneyland, and yet also has too many cars somehow. But I often go to Amsterdam Centraal to catch a train, and so I've had to navigate construction projects many times over the past few years. But now, finally, this construction is almost complete, and a few days ago, the most impressive part just opened up to the public.
Wow, now this is futuristic. Oh, I like that. I like that.
There's been a lot of work done to the area around the Amsterdam Central Station in the past decade. Back in 2015, a much-delayed project opened that made significant improvements to the station. Most importantly, getting rid of this road that cut off the station from the waterfront. Instead of a busy road, there's now a shared space for people walking and cycling, which mostly works, though tourists do sometimes have trouble figuring it out.
Yeah.
The road now goes under the station. And there's a spacious new area for buses on top that's much more accessible if you're transferring to or from a train. And they even have this cool hardware for charging electric buses while they wait. The bus station used to be here at the front of the station, where this whole area was a sea of asphalt.
I can see it'll be a lot
Another
of
great addition was this tunnel for walking and cycling that allows easy access through the station to the ferry terminal at the back. I used to take this tunnel fairly regularly when I was working out of an office in Nord.
Nah, I walked a long time in my life. I had plenty of times where I had to walk, but just to experience walking a tunnel was just like psychologically put me in the space that I'm about to walk forever. I had a job where we had to walk a white space, like the walls is white and you had to walk straight down, and it just felt like forever.
Yeah, like
to get to the time clock. Yeah, so I don't know, like where y'all going? That's a lot of walking.
I don't know. Well, you know, they walk and they bike in that society.
Yeah. I get it. I do.
Way more than we do.
If I wasn't taking the M52 Metro that day, another great project that opened in 2018. Connecting the north side of Amsterdam to the rest of the city with rapid transit for the first time. The metro station itself is really spacious and modern, and it's a pleasure to ride, though I am surprised that the metros come only every 6 minutes. That seems really infrequent for such a modern metro line, and I hope they increase frequency in the future.
6 minutes though is crazy.
There are plans to extend this line to Schiphol Airport in order to divert passengers from...
I don't know if y'all gonna agree with him on that one, but for us, just listening to like every 6 minutes is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's perfect.
Yeah. So, what are y'all used to? Because 6 minutes seems like a good amount of time. How many people?
No one is waiting. No one's sitting around for over 20 minutes.
Really?
Like,
that's what we're kind of used to, 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you are.
And then I'm pretty sure you got apps where you can tell whenever your next ride is coming too. So it's like, it just makes sense. 6 minutes not bad.
The train system and allow more trains to run through Amsterdam South, a station which is also seeing insane amounts of construction, but that will have to be a topic for a future video. Back to Amsterdam Centraal. The area in front of the station is much nicer these days, with a very large pedestrianized plaza directly outside of the station, and with this new entrance to the metro. There are several tram stops here too that can take you all over the city. Incidentally, I really appreciate how well trams fit into an area like this. There's no other form of surface transit that is so compatible with pedestrian areas, and it's one of the many reasons I love trams so much. The fact that trams are on tracks makes them predictable, so people aren't scared to walk here, and it makes the area completely level, so it's still pleasant to walk. And doesn't provide any obstacles for wheelchairs or mobility scooters either.
Nice.
You really can't get this kind of shared environment with any other form of mass transit. This wouldn't work as well with buses, and you sure as hell can't do this with cars. So while there's been a lot of construction in this area over the past decades, the results have definitely been worth it, but this new project takes it to another level. I mentioned earlier that the bus station used to be in front of the station. This made the front of the station very busy with cars and buses, making the path treacherous for people walking.
Sure.
One of the really nice parts about this latest project is the amount of asphalt has been reduced. As I mentioned, the buses are now at the back, but the road here is also narrower and has much less motor vehicle traffic. But most importantly, this was done by increasing the size of the water in front of the station. You can see from these areas...
When he had showed this earlier, that was one of the things that I saw that was different as they were going through the construction and things like that. Yeah. So it really seems like it would be so difficult to ride in the inner city of Amsterdam. Like comparing all of the videos that we have seen so far, like we know that you can have cars there. Obviously people have cars, but it just seems like they make it so that you wouldn't want to drive in the city.
Yeah, they're more of a on feet type of society. Oh yeah, ain't Amsterdam the location where they made bike lanes? Yeah. More bike lanes and everything. Yeah. Just to cater to the people that's on bikes because they have a huge bike culture as well. So you are right. It may be just more off the side of having vehicles as much and putting more people on bikes and things.
Yeah, and it just seems like, so, I don't know. Do y'all road trip in Amsterdam? I would really like to know that question. No, Amsterdam is one of the places I really want to visit.
I feel that. Like, yeah.
But do y'all road trip?
Yeah.
Because just going on a vacation there, y'all know how I feel about my car. I'm like, baby, listen, give me the car. If you don't want it, give it here. I don't know. I'm just, just trying to piece together, would it be accessible with cars?
Yeah.
Like a road trip.
Maybe.
Images how the space devoted to asphalt has been turned into more space for water and boats. This makes the area in front of the station feel much larger and more inviting. Because one of the best things a city can do is to remove asphalt. One of the glaring problems with Amsterdam Centraal, however, is the bicycle parking. Many years ago, this ugly thing called the Fietsvlot was built to park bicycles in a kind of outdoor bicycle parking garage. This works okay, but it really doesn't look that great. The Fietsvlot was built in 2001 and was supposed to be a temporary solution until 2004, but it's still here today. And it's now well over capacity, so the area in front of the station was littered with bicycles.
Now here, that's a perfect word, littered, because it don't look like a bunch of bikes. When you start to look into the distance, it don't look like bikes at all. That is a lot, and it don't look, I don't know, it's just not, it's not a good look.
And the area behind the station, too. In the Netherlands, almost 50% of train passengers arrive on bicycle, and this station is no exception. But that means that there have to be enough parking spaces for all those bicycles. Of course, anybody that doesn't arrive at the station by car is an improvement, so the bike parking has really been a victim of its own success. But this is really not good enough for the busiest and most important train station in Amsterdam. For example, at Amsterdam Zuid, the third busiest station, there are 1, 2, 3 underground parking garages, and this last one, opened in 2018, is absolutely stunning. I use it on a regular basis, even though the other 2 garages are technically closer to the station. So when you see parking like that, you can understand why this janky metal structure needed to be replaced, and thankfully, it has been. With 2 beautiful new bicycle parking garages.
That's lit up. That's nice, though.
The first and most impressive opened up just a few days ago, an underground bicycle parking garage in front of the station. Actually, underground is not really correct here, as it's actually underwater.
Oh, that's why it has that, like, aqua look. You know what I'm saying? I was also going to compare it to, like, a beehive.
Oh, yeah.
It look like a beehive, y'all. You know, some bees, a bunch of bees.
It's cool.
Bikes.
As Americans, this is, like, foreign. Way foreign to us. Like, having a parking garage for bicycles.
For bicycles, yeah.
Like, I see it's needed in y'all community, but, like, let's say if we didn't know nothing about Amsterdam, and we went there and we saw that, we'd be like, what in the world is
crazy?
Going on?
It's like, do we just grab it and go? Like, we wouldn't know, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of bikes. Is it free? Do we need to get a number for it? I don't know. But yeah, I would have been shocked. I would have been shocked, too.
Yeah. But it looks cool. It really does.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good look. And it's an improvement.
This area, which used to be the busy road and bus station, is now mostly water, and the garage was built under it. I was invited to tour the garage with press the day before it opened to the public. It was nice to go from being kicked out for filming to being toured around and offered champagne.
Oh, come
on, man.
Finally made it to the big time.
Came back with it, okay.
They also had these cakes with a fish riding a bicycle, perfect for an underwater bicycle parking garage.
Oh, they treat
Mark
people
from
good.
Bicycle Dutch was invited too, so you'll see him in some of my shots. Be sure to check out his detailed review of this parking garage on his channel, link in the description. And Chris from Modacity was here too. There were some speeches by politicians, some important people got interviewed, but anyway, on to more important things. The entrance to this new garage is wide and spacious, with multiple travelators to bring you and your bike down under the fishes. This is great because this garage is actually quite deep underwater, and it would be a pain to have to walk in and out of it with your bike. Bicycle parking facilities are only worth building if people actually use them. They have to be as easily accessible as possible, otherwise people will just leave their bicycles parked on the surface instead. So at the back of the garage, there's an escalator that goes up here, and it connects directly to the metro station and train station here. So this can be even faster than parking on the surface. And in case you're wondering, no, Amsterdam doesn't build underground garages where you can ride your bike into them, because the city believes that they're too dangerous after a fatal accident at this one.
Fatal.
One thing to note, though, is that there's no cover over this entrance. I was told this was done to maintain the views of the historic station. However, these roll pads, as they're called in Dutch, get quite slippery when they're wet, so most other garages have a cover and warning signs like this. It does make me wonder if this new garage will be a slip and slide when it rains. When you enter the garage, there are these fare gates where you can tap your public transit card or bank card. As with most bicycle parking garages in the Netherlands, the first 24 hours is free, and then it's usually €1 and change for every day after that. Though I noticed that the price isn't mentioned on the signage, which is a bit weird because it is at other garages in the city. There is space to park up to 7,000 bicycles in this garage, which makes it the largest in Amsterdam, but not the largest in the Netherlands. That title still goes to the one at Utrecht. As an irrelevant aside, for bicycle parking, instead of saying garage, as is done for cars, the Dutch use the word stalling, which literally translates as stabling, like what is done for horses. I wish we would call these bicycle stables in English too. It's way more fun. The rows have these LED lights that show how full a given row is, and these lights won't all be green for long. Every row is labeled with a number so you can remember where you parked, though curiously, the racks themselves are not numbered like they are in most other Dutch bicycle garages. What is typical, though, is that bicycles can be parked 2 levels high, and the upper racks are spring-loaded to make it easy to lift your bicycle up. There are sections with slightly larger racks, too, where bicycles with crates can be parked, though one glaring omission is that larger bicycles, such as cargo bikes, aren't allowed to park in this garage. So I'm not entirely sure where you're supposed to park a bakfiets at Amsterdam Centraal now. The staff just told me there will be an area on the east side. This seems pretty typical in Amsterdam, unfortunately. The relatively new parking garage at the Boersplein was also not built to allow cargo bikes. So they recently created this little area at the back where you can park a few bakfiets and outside. And at Amsterdam South, only one of the 3 parking garages allows for bakfiets parking. What is accounted for is OV fiets, the public bicycles that can be rented by the day from most train stations in the Netherlands. Eventually, this whole open area will be full of rental bikes. These are fantastic when you're visiting a city by train but need to get around by bicycle when you get there. I've used them many times in other cities and should probably make a video about them someday. And there's also a bike shop in case you need some repairs done to your bike or need to pick up some parts or accessories.
But you see, I can understand the bike culture 1,000%. Vehicles are more expensive when it comes to maintenance.
Yeah.
Bikes aren't.
Right.
You can get a chain fixed, you can get your handlebars switched out, you can get your tires rotated, or put new ones on there. Easy for a very minimum price. So I can understand, like, they're actually winning. You think about it. Saving money as well.
Yeah, I think...
But the distance, is it, for you?
No, just... like I said before, I'm one of those people. I like to have my own thing. I was the student in class who wanted my pencils, my paper, my computer paper, my pens, my markers, my crayons. I wanted all of my things. I didn't want to share the things that the teacher provided for the other students. I didn't want
It's
that.
okay.
I want
okay.
my things.
It's yours.
So I want my car.
It's yours. It's okay.
I want to know that my baby car seat is in the back.
Yeah. Well, they have a car parking for those with the I forgot what they call them.
Back fit.
The cargoes looking ones.
Yeah, the cargo ones.
Yeah.
Right. Those are cool.
That's you all day.
If I was in the Netherlands, I would probably have that.
You
know,
go.
like if I was raised there, I think I would have more appreciation for it. But because, you know.
So I got a question. Do you guys have like the family bikes?
Yeah.
Like for 5-seaters?
Oh.
Like everybody gets to sit on the seat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe 2 of them going not going to pedal, but the rest is working hard to make sure they get from A to B. Like, do you have those bikes? That'd be interesting.
I don't know. See, although I say that my American view is kind of stopping me a little bit from, appreciating more of it, I do think that I would still have a good vacation if I was there. Mm-hmm. Because as a tourist, you're not going to see everything.
Yeah, but you get the experience.
Right. I think I would be cool with the transportation that they do have there.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree.
Like if it was a month-long vacation, like,
what you're used to, you would have wanted
want
back.
a car.
Yeah, you don't want it back. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I went back to this parking garage on the first weekend that it was open, and with so many people, I noticed just how annoying these automated travelator warnings are.
Slow. So slow. I'm gonna just walk.
But it's safe.
Yeah.
Inside the garage, there were lots of people taking pictures and video. This has become the newest Amsterdam tourist attraction. So it goes without saying that this garage, bicycle stable, is stunningly beautiful.
It is.
It's obvious that a lot of time, effort, and money has gone into designing it. This bicycle parking isn't an afterthought. It's not some small dark corner where they decided to stuff in some bicycle racks like you'll find in so many other countries. People may ask, how can they afford all this stuff? But the real question is, how can other cities afford not to? Cycling is considered to be first-class infrastructure here because Amsterdam recognizes that every single person who shows up to the train station by bicycle is ultimately saving the city money, and so it's encouraged as much as possible by being inviting, functional, but also beautiful. That bicycle shop I mentioned has this glass wall, where every square is a famous painting by Dutch artists. And one wall of the garage is old maps of Amsterdam, starting from about 1,000 years ago and continuing to the present day.
Okay, that's nice.
They are also made up of paintings. At the back of the garage are these sculptures, which were designed in the 1960s. They were preserved from a demolished building, but they fit right in. And the roof of the garage has these huge circular lights that document the nautical history of the Netherlands through historical paintings.
Oh, I was wondering what that was.
It's nice that infrastructure projects in the Netherlands almost always have an art budget. That tunnel through the station that I showed earlier also has this artwork on the walls, and I love this so much. There's so many other cities I've lived in where public projects are designed as cheaply as possible, with little or no thought as to how they'll actually look. I am convinced that traveling through horribly ugly places on a regular basis takes a toll on your mental health. And car infrastructure is inherently ugly and dehumanizing. I strongly believe that there are benefits to society for people to be regularly traveling to, from, and through places that are beautiful. And I'm glad to live in a country that appreciates that too. So that's the first garage, and it's definitely impressive, but there's actually a second bicycle parking garage that's still under construction that will open in a few weeks. This second bicycle parking garage is underground, not underwater, located behind the station on the riverside. This is great for people approaching from the north side and the ferries across the river. It's quite a bit simpler than the garage at the front of the station. Don't get me wrong, it's still really nice, but it's not all full of fancy artwork either. There's no travelator here, so you have to bring your bike up the stairs like a goddamned animal, but then this garage isn't very far underground, so it's not very difficult either. The building follows the curve of the river, which makes it quite a bit more visually interesting than a rectangular box, but since there are just several long rows. The sections are labeled with words instead of row numbers. And each rack is labeled to help you find your bicycle when you return. And they were also playing music in here for some reason. Some Gangnam Style while you park your bicycle. This garage is a great use of the long, narrow space behind the station, and I'm really looking forward to it opening, so that maybe, just maybe, we can get a few years without construction at Amsterdam Centraal. That is, until the next time they decide to make it even awesomer. If you'd like to see more about these parking garages, be sure to check out the video.
I mean, we're going to separate that. So I understand what Amsterdam is doing. They are definitely ahead of the time and ahead of the curve with the bike culture. Yeah. I don't know no one else is trying to, capitalize on the bike culture like they are.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They're unstoppable with it. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's cool. And like I said, I know I like my car, but I think when we do travel to Amsterdam, I think I will immerse myself into the bike culture.
She's going to get lost in the bike culture. Let me say that.
Am.
I think you're going to enjoy it.
I really am going to
get lost. Ain't no problems. It's going to happen.
All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.